Hello, everybody, my friends. It is good to see you. Well, I can't see you. It's good of you seeing me. I like being looked at. Taylor, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Here you got a little scratchy cough today,
A
huh?
little tiny bit. I'm all right.
Kind of bit. I like that. Kind of bit. That's interesting. So I'm John Zidar. The lady behind the screen is Taylor. We're here. I'm here from Penny Boys. Taylor's just here because she's so nice. She's just here because she likes doing this.
I'm
We,
still in Penny Boys. I'm still there.
yeah, I did see you poke your head into the free members when I was in there talking. It's like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
there's Taylor. Hey, Taylor. Everybody. And then Nikki came in. It's like, I think one lady just draws in other ladies. I like that. I like that. That's why I go to bars that have ladies' nights. It just kind of draws them in. So we like to talk about stocks here. We like to talk about them at Penny Boys. I put a lot of information out there online. I spend a lot of time on Discord talking about stocks as they're moving through the day, talking to other members about getting in and getting out. And then we do this live stream every Thursday where you guys pick the stocks. So whatever we're looking at, don't thank me, don't blame me. It isn't on me. I'm just here doing the work, me and Taylor. And we've got a bunch of them all lined up, but we do have room for a couple more. So keep dropping those stickers in. We're looking for hot stocks, folks. We're not looking for light at the end of the tunnel. We're not really interested in great recoveries. We want something that looks imminent, like it's ready to run. Like we just got over the speed bump and we're on the other side. That's when you speed up. There's nothing in your way. Those are the sort of stocks we want. Ooh, it's going. So we've got a bunch of them lined up here. If I can get to my page here in a moment, moving my hands and my lips at the same time gets tricky. We have got 6 of them lined up. Jerome tricked me. He gave me 2 in a row. I did the homework on the first one and then saw, oh, no, let's change our mind and do the second one. It's like, but I just did the work on the first one. So we have it there. I don't know if we're going to look at it. I do like SOAR. We were actually looking at SOAR today. She was running, so we were playing her in the Discord group. So let's get this lined up. We have got stocks coming in from our regulars and newbies, and Taylor does more of the conversating with you guys. I just don't find enough time to chat with you because we try to get as much into this hour and a half. It's supposed to be an hour-long show. So we're going to start here with a ticker that was requested. This is WTO. This didn't come from this group. This came from a YouTube comment. J-Man, also known as Jamie. He was asking about this, as are a lot of people. I'm asking about this one. This is WTO, U-Time Limited. This is a Chinese company. Doesn't say China here, but there's its prefix, 86. Dial 1, your call comes to America. Dial 86, your call goes to China. This is a Chinese company. They are currently at 6.5 cents. Today, they only fell 6.5% roughly. This is a stock on the major exchange where you don't have to pay for your transactions like the OTC. You can trade it pre-market and aftermarket where you can't on the OTC. A lot more money and a lot more volume up on the major exchange. That's where you want your stocks to be, in those sort of places. And they've got a lot more rules up there. So trading stocks on the major exchange just makes sense. It's just safer and more profitable most of the time. So WTO, what is this company about? Well, they tell us over here. Now, this was a little strange. It's kind of, I don't know, a 3-sided coin. U-Time Limited, established in 2008, provides cost-effective mobile devices to consumers globally and helps low-income individuals from established markets, including the United States, and emerging markets such as India and countries in South Asia and Africa have better access to updated mobile technology. And they talk about medical wearable technology. Well, I've known about this company, but this isn't what it sounds like. This is what I thought it was. Now, this site isn't all that pretty. It's kind of outdated. God, this is like a 1990 site. But watches is what I remember U-Time being about. And they have this site still up. They still sell watches. This site's there. I'm presuming this is still them. I tried to match up the name Darren and the phone numbers. I couldn't do any matchups here. But getting even stranger, they don't mention any of the watch stuff over here, at least not the way you'd think. We're looking at the news. Back here, now this is all August. All this news is August. U-Time Limited regains compliance with NASDAQ minimum closing bid price. Notice the price, 6 cents, right? They were under $1, got over $1, way over $1, and then really, really fell hard. And I'm going to tell you why here in a minute. August 19th, the company partnered with Dr. Ewed Barron to pioneer AI-driven health solutions. There's another company. Did I grab this one? Yes. X-Cardio. It is a Japanese company. They are creating a BP watch, a blood pressure watch that will constantly be monitoring you. But they decided that they think the better model is not just to sell something that works consistently forever and ever for free. They would rather sell you the device and then put you on a subscription base, so you got to pay for it every month. And that's what they're talking about here, going to the high price margin of per patient per month billing. But then we had news which sounded really good, should have been good. And this is where it gets crazy. U-Time signs a non-disclosure agreement to acquire monkeypox vaccine maker Bowen Therapeutics Inc. and supports completion of the FDA registration related vaccines. Now, they tell us here the company has signed a non-disclosure agreement. Normally, that means you can't share information. You can't talk. I'm not quite sure how this works with a partnership or a merger, but that's what it sounds like. For the acquisition of Bowen Therapeutics Laboratory, UMASS Medical School. One of the key drivers behind this acquisition is a growing global need for an effective monkeypox vaccination. I did a video not too long ago. I found 6. I think there's 8 or 9 now. Maybe I didn't find them all, but more are coming into the picture like this one. There's only a handful of monkeypox stocks out there. And when monkeypox was first mentioned, the ones that were already identified all ran. All had huge runs, GOVX, VOXX, funny how they all got X in it, TNPX, all of them ran. And then they all came down, and a lot of people got trapped because they thought it'd go higher and higher and higher, and they didn't sell on the gains. And they've gotten trapped, and they're waiting for the bounce, which I do believe is going to come unless someone comes up with the vaccine so quick that we don't have to worry about it anymore, or it just goes away. Both probably aren't going to happen. So they've got a monkeypox vaccine. Brown Therapeutics, which U-Time intends to acquire, is a company dedicated to RD of vaccines for infectious diseases. Under the NDA, U-Time will take over all of Bowen Therapeutics Laboratory and will be in charge of ongoing clinical trials and future vaccine development programs. In addition, U-Time will utilize its resources and expertise to help the monkeypox vaccine complete the FDA registration process quickly and efficiently. This acquisition is not only a realignment of business strategy, things are changing in-house, but also a positive response to a global public health challenge. Sounds like a quick lily pad change to me. So honestly, nobody expected what happened. The price was up there at $2.50 when this news came out, and it fell down, down, down over the next few days, all the way down to 6 cents. After being under $1, breaking $1 for whatever, all this other information in the news, she got up there, and then this brought her down. Now, I've looked around, folks. I've looked around to see if we had some heavy liability that came along with this company. Well, yeah, we do. We have taken over all the clinical trials. Clinical trials are expensive. They take money. You've got to get it from somewhere. You got to pay for all of the people in it, the people doing the trial, all the evidence being put together. There's a lot of money invested there. But I didn't see any liability beyond that. I didn't see any huge amount of shares being thrown out there to screw up the float. So I don't know why the investors got so scared that they went from $2.50 down to 6 cents. That is just unbelievable, folks. So what was the relative volume around the company today? Well, that's not going to tell me. It's up. She's been doing like 71 million shares a day over the last 30 days. Today, she did 101 million. Share structure for WTO is up there near 400 million. I don't know what the float is because they don't tell me what the insiders own, but we know it can't be higher than the outstanding share count. So our float won't be higher than 392 million, and depending how many the insiders own, could be considerably less. Market cap for U-Time Limited is about 27, 28 million. Financials for this company, they're falling. Over the last 4 years, we've dropped from 37, 40 million down to 23 million. We are still in the black making a profit, but that's fallen a lot too. We're down to 1.2 million at the end of 2024. Quarterlies, we're not going to get any here. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you feel like a nut robo, sometimes you don't. Just popped in. Looking at the balance sheet for the company, they got money in the bank, 10.5 million. They got assets, about 90 million. Oh, yeah. Liabilities is like 40 million. So we are holding positive stockholder equity of about 51 million. So they are making revenues. It is falling right now. I didn't mention it. They do seem to be making a whole big change here. They have a couple different things that they're all working on for wearable devices, not just the watch, but other medical things that you can get from something being hooked to you all the time. And they are looking into that market. To me, it looks like, I don't know, like they're abandoning the watches, or it's just a sideline gig now, because let's face it, how many people really wear watches anymore? The real rich and famous, they like to buy them to show off. But outside of that, don't most of us use our gadgets and our phones to tell us the time? Alexa, what time is it, right? So we do have money. The fundamentals aren't bad. Taking a look at the disclosures. What did I have over here for notes? Let's see if I put anything down here. I didn't put anything down there. Last disclosure is a 6K. Authorized share capital creation of additional. What? To approve a subordinate. So they want to increase the authorized share count to 9 billion shares. Now, folks, if they need money to pay for all these clinical trials and they're starting to lose money, I wouldn't be surprised to see public offerings start selling more shares. Maybe not just to us, maybe big investors, but they need to raise money, most likely, to pay for these clinical trials. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a share. Oh, look at that. Maybe that's why I had this page open. They voted on this yet? They are going to hold a general holders meeting on the 28th of August. Looks like this has already happened. We need to see, but it looks like they voted on a reverse stock split of 1 and 25. And that was on the 28th. So I'm presuming this probably got approved. None of these get disapproved. I've never seen a stock split get disapproved. A 1 and 25 stock split on the shares that we got right now. So that's going to come down big time. That's going to come down to like, 4 times 8 or 25. Was that 16? 1.16 million? That's going to be really low. But if you're in it now, I don't know when that's going to happen. And now that they've told us that they've had the shareholder meeting, you may not get a news press until it happens. The day it happens, they'll announce they're doing it. It's like great timing. So I'd be leery of that right now. And I don't know, it's probably to get that price back up. Now, the 28th, today is the 5th. I'm trying to think because they may have done a reverse stock split, and Taylor will be able to tell us this on the
I
chart.
don't see there's no reverse stock split.
No.
They're
So
not showing that.
So this hasn't happened. That's not how they regained compliance. That's what I was thinking. So this is on the table. This is about ready to happen. So I'd be real careful thinking, oh, this is super cheap. It's going to run all the way up to there. You pile into it, and then they're going to take 25 out of, they're going to take a lot of your shares. They're going to give you 1 share for every 25. So I'd be real leery of that right now. So, yeah, there's catalyst on the table. Why she's not responded to it, I don't know. Why she fell, I don't know. And that in itself is why I would stay away from it, because I don't understand what's going on. I see the discrepancy. I see the potential, but it doesn't make sense to me. And getting in confused is no way to be trading. All right, I'm going to turn this over to Taylor now because the chart's going to confuse you too.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to point out something here. The See, just within the last week or so, we've had the 52-week high, which was 249, like you mentioned, and the low was 5.4 cents, so even lower than we are now. But here's what's interesting that since I'm on regular candles on the daily chart, you can see that we didn't have a gap down. This is a regular candle, so it actually went down during the day on Wednesday the 28th. And you can see that here on the hourly. It started dropping. It opened here. He was here during pre-market hours. Came back down to here. We had a wick up and then just
Jumped right under the 200.
yeah, and went down the whole day. This was during the trading day here in the black. So you can see where it didn't just gap down. So there was something that was released, I guess, in the early morning hours of this day that caused people
Yeah,
to
yeah. The good news about a merger with a company that has an
yeah.
mpox vaccination.
Yeah, so the good news. So it's interesting that it didn't gap down because a lot of times we see that gap down and that did not happen here. So let me move over to the hourly. Here we go. So this is what's been going on. This is the 28th. This is coming from here. This is all those falling. So this is what's been going on since. And as you can tell, it's just kind of, we hit this low. This was on last Thursday. This is it right here, 5.4 cents. And then it's just kind of, up and down, nothing really happening. The 200 EMA is way up here at $1 something, way, way, way up
Yeah,
there.
well, look at those other MAs.
Yeah.
They came down like meteors right on their heads before they
Yeah.
finally turned.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is completely, I mean, it dropped under the 9 and, of course, all the others, probably, yeah, yesterday and has not really regained it. It's been a couple times during pre-market hours, but it's not holding, nothing. It's just coming down. So
And we
obviously
still got the
something.
200 to come down.
Oh, the 200's way up there at like $1 something. I can't even scroll up. Take forever. So that's what's going on with the chart. I mean, it's
Yes,
really
look, you're
hard to
looking at,
say
if you're
what
looking for an
direction.
opportunity in this one, do you think there's an opportunity there, Taylor?
No, no, absolutely not. It's very hard to say what's gonna happen here because it's such a significant, massive drop that now it's just kind of like it's readjusting itself, trying to get some kind of something going on. And if there's gonna be a reverse split going on, this is not the time to get in it, in my opinion, personally. I wouldn't.
Right. That would take it back up to $3, which is where it was closing in on before the stock fell. So
Mhm.
I think that's going to happen. And even if it doesn't, something cuckoo has happened here. Somebody's very upset about an mpox vaccine. Yeah, I don't understand it, but the chart tells me no. So between the chart and the confusing information, I would not advise playing with this unless you like playing with fire and burning your money up at the same time. Just
I
a thought.
mean, if you're into like the pre-market stuff, you could maybe scalp something pre-market, but otherwise, this is not something that I would be interested in.
Expert traders only, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, let's move on to something that's nicer, something friendlier. Well, this one isn't all that friendly. This is water. Ticker WTER. That's not really the name of the company. Alkaline Water Company is the name of the company. Want to guess what they do for their business? You're probably right. Yes, they sell alkaline water, and not just in one size, but many sizes. And they like to talk about that. They keep adding more sizes. Woohoo! Lots of exciting news here, folks. Actually, the problem is I don't have any news. I don't have any filings. I don't have any money. This is looking sad, folks. It looks like it's going bye-bye. I don't think people are into alkaline water here. This is an American company out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Finished the day under 16 cents, up. Actually had an up day. She's up 22.5% almost. On the bottom tier of the OTC, the pink, the riskiest tier because you don't get a whole lot of validated information down here. Normally, all you get are these two green ticks, verified profile and a transfer agent, and that comes from the OTC market. You don't get any filings to talk about. You don't get financials that are audited. This is it, folks. You're taking the word from management for virtually everything. So be very cautious. When you're investing money in a pink, you're giving your money to strangers you don't know and are telling you a bunch of stuff that they can't verify. Be cautious. I've lost a lot of money believing pink lies. So alkaline water, well, I just told you what they do. They sell water. We have no news.
They sell water. Okay.
They do. They sell alkaline water. Now,
Continue.
there's a lot of discussion about alkaline water being better for you, but it's just discussion. There's no medical proof. Some people say it has benefits for you. Our alkali is, our pH level is 7. It goes from 0 to 14, and we're right in the middle. This is our happy zone. You get lower than that, it's too acidic. Things start burning up and being not feeling right inside. Alkali, people think, well, less acid, better. Yeah, kind of, maybe. We find digestive problems when you get too much alkali in your body, and this is 8.8. If you have kidney problems, this is going to affect them even more. If you're taking medication, alkali can definitely affect your medication. So before you go messing around with your water, make sure that what's in it you can tolerate properly. So, in saying that, we've got no news here since 2018. Just telling you. Disclosures. We've got your financials, which are disclosures here. And down here, we've got some filings, but they're kind of old. They're a few months old. And looking at our financials, which is, what really counts, we've got money coming in, but as you can see, it's falling, and it's falling fast. She started the climb from 46 million. Don't forget those 3 zeros. 46 million up to 63, and then dropped fast, way down, 4-year low, 28.5 million. And the profits came way down with it as well. Looking at our quarterlies, it's just getting worse. 14 to 10 to 3 to nothing to nothing. And that was the last quarter. Nothing. No money coming in whatsoever. Balance sheet. No money in the bank. No assets whatsoever. Not one penny of assets. Total liabilities, they still owe $1.7 million to debtors, and they got no money. Don't worry, our investors can cover that. That's our debt. So, to be at this price, 15 cents, when they got no money, no assets, and all we get is debt, we get nothing. Look, folks, take all the shares. How many shares are there? Well, let's go take a look. And it's not a bad share count. Who cares? They're worthless shares. We got 14 million shares. Insiders know they're worthless. They only own 318,000 of them. That's it. Period. We get all the rest. So you take that 12 million and you divide that into that negative number, 1.7 million, you get a negative number. That's what this stock is worth right now. Just speaking my mind, folks. So that covers it outside of the people who think there's hope here. What's going on? Now, unless there was a tweet, something happened and they said we're merging with an AI company, we're getting out of water. I don't see why this company should have any extra volume coming into it. We've got nothing to look at. There's not even anything to speculate. Yeah, water is a big market. It's saturated. No pun intended. And they are working in one sector of water, a very tight sector that isn't really even proven. They're just unique, but that doesn't make you better or good. So I don't know how much hope this company actually has. Let me see. Was there anything else we needed here? No. Like I said, there wasn't much to talk about. So I'm going to throw this on over to Taylor and see if she can spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, I can spice it up a little. This is
What
insane.
the blazes?
Yeah, I told you this before the show. I just don't understand. So I zoomed in a little bit ago, and about Tuesday the 20th, so a little over 2 weeks ago, we were at 0006 at the bottom of that. And these are Heikenhashi candles, full disclosure. But look at this climb here from 0006 all the way to over 15 cents is just I don't. And
We
the volume. Look at this volume. This is
we
the
figured
daily
that
chart,
out,
by the way.
folks, from where it was to where it went was 250,000% gains from the 000 up to full pennies. Every $100 bill you had bought in at that 0006 would have given you $250,000 if you sold. If you didn't say, I wonder how high it's going to go, waiting for 20 cents, and now, it's going to fall back to 6. That's what I'm expecting. Why should it stay up there? Oh my God, what a run.
Oh, yeah, well, I didn't see this before because I was concentrating on what's going on now. This in between area, I don't know what happened, but it just went to the floor and just stayed there. But At the end of last year, beginning of this calendar year, up until February, we were up here in the 20-30 cent zone. And then we had a massive drop in February, all the way from like 28, 29 cents, whoops, all the way down to, the 000 area. That bottom line is like literally at zero. So 0001 is probably the lowest it was going. And look
The
at this,
last piece
how
of
low.
news we have came November 28th of 2023 when they were late filing their financials. And when people
Okay.
start going broke, it costs money. It's quite expensive to file your financials. And if you're going to file that you're making no money, how motivated are you to pay to say that? So they end up being late. Next thing you know, they get thrown down to the OTC. If they're already there, down to the expert market. Bye-bye. They just disappear. I don't know why this company went to 15 cents, and I don't know who knows about it, why they got in. But God almighty, look at that thing still
Yeah,
going.
this is the 1 hour chart. So I zoomed in a little bit. So it started running, looks like Wednesday the 21st. There was a little bit on the 20th. Wednesday the 21st, we started bouncing up. And you can just see all these higher highs over and over and over. And then here we are today. I mean, it's got all these like little healthy pullbacks in the middle of all this. So
I
this is
just did a
crazy.
search. I went to Google. I couldn't find any recent news. November of last year is it. So what has
Very
this coming?
crazy.
Is there a rumor somewhere? I mean, it would have to be one hell of a rumor to get it up 250,000%.
Yeah.
God, I'm sorry I missed that. And the fact that never showed up on my radars. I mean, it's been doing it for days. I'm surprised I haven't seen that.
Yeah, for the last 2 weeks. It started 2 weeks ago.
Talk about under the radar. Literally. Did not see the water. My God.
Yeah.
So I can't say that, all right, if I didn't know anything about news, financials, I'd say, wow, this stock looks good. It looks like it's continuing. She's staying above the 20. She doesn't come below that. She comes down to the 50. She's starting to get weak. But if she just keeps floating on the 9, tagging the 20, just going like that, shoot.
That's exactly what it's doing. Yep.
I'd be getting into it because it's steady. It's not even volatile. It looks like reliable climb. But knowing what I know, I don't know enough. Again, I'm dumbfounded. Why is it climbing on nothing? No news, no filings, no money. Why is it climbing? So to me, as soon as I get in, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking that risk. Happened too many times. So if you like the chart looks good. Can't argue with you there. But looking at the rest, common sense comes into play. So I got to say no. I need 2 hot factors, hot news and a hot chart. Ain't got that. All right, let's check out the next one. That's my cue.
Yep.
I'm remembering now, although I got poor Taylor in here really late. She was scratching at the door trying to get in. She was over Discord. She was at YouTube. Please send me the link. What's she doing? Making coffee? She's normally here by now.
Oh, get in.
Shame. So the next stock we're taking a look at is APLD. Who was the friend that brought this to me? This was Mark Ryan. All right, Mark Ryan, you brought me a stock that, again, threw me a curve. APLD, Applied Digital Corporation. I'll bet you we see them ask for a name change here soon. I'll bet you. She's at $5.37, just on the other side of the street of penny stock. We still call her part of the neighborhood. She is actually on the other side of the zip code line, but we still talk to her. Hey, Applied Digital, she was up 65% today. Hee-haw. Up $2.13. That's what we're talking about. This is a hot penny stock on the NASDAQ with the host of benefits we already discussed. So they tell us here that Applied Blockchain is an operator of next-generation data centers across North America, which provides substantial compute power to blockchain infrastructure and support Bitcoin mining. This is a company out of the United States. So what did we come to find out? All right. As you can see, I'm not going to spend too much time here because they're going by way too slow. I'm doing as much talking as I can right now, biding time. You can see these big names going by here, people that are working with them. So As soon as I see big names working with a company, I can breathe easy. Company I can trust. You know darn well these companies are getting involved with some backwoods company that we've never heard of before and we can't trust. Jumping on over into the news, I see a lot of money coming at this company right now. That's what I see. I see a lot of growth. I see them moving into, it looks like AI, if I'm reading things correctly. Applied Digital issues $53 million worth of convertible preferred stock to advance HPC data center project and accelerate growth. So they sold some preferred stock. I don't know the details. I'm only headlining this, but they got $53 million for that preferred stock. Applied Digital stock jumps after NVIDIA backs this $160 million strategic fund. But they had a lot of people in this $160 million fund. So big that they really don't want to name the names of the companies. Today, the company announced it's entered into a definitive agreement for $160 million in private placement from a group of institutional and accredited investors, NVIDIA and related companies, the most prominent privately owned real estate company, and a leader in complex infrastructure and data center development. This strategic financing underscores Applied Digital's position as a trusted pioneer in the accelerated compute space. They tell us, I've been noticing this here, this liquid-cooled NVIDIA AI compute cloud stuff. We just looked at another company that's working over in India, very first company. I think it's Sept. Yeah, Sept. Very first one with the NVIDIA liquid-cooled AI computing. And this is what's exploding right now. It's allowing more power so that AI can do more work. This is what we need. And that's what they've got going on here. This company seems to be getting into one of the hottest sectors that we're going to need. AI needs. We needed cloud before. We needed it just to put all of our data in. AI uses thousands, millions of more data points than we will ever use. And it needs bigger hyper clouds. And that's where the business is going right now. And if you can get in early, you could be one of the giants. And we already see the giants are lining up with this company. That's pretty exciting to me. Anything else down here? In the private placement, Applied Digital agreed to issue 49 million shares of its common stock at a per price of $3.24. Right now, we're at $5.37. They didn't sell them cheap. That's what the price was back on the date when the deal was being made. Since the news came out, everybody's excited about it, and we've got this price climbing. So what was the relative volume around this hot stock today? Whoa. She went from about, let's just call it 5 million to make it easy, to 150 million. Oh my God. What is that? 5 times 50? 1, 2, 3, no. 5 times 35? It's a huge bounce, folks. It's a huge jump. A lot of extra attention being given to this company. The outstanding share count is about half of how many it moved today. So that means they moved every share twice over. That's good. You got about 157 million outstanding. I don't know what the float is, but it's not going to be higher than that. And it could be considerably less. Market cap is just over $500 million. Applied's financials, drum roll maestro. 4 years ago, we had nothing, jumped up to 8.5 million. That's a good on the board jump, but they weren't making any profit. Then they really whipped out the big boys, came out with 55 million, making a profit. And now look, tripled that, 165 million. Telling you folks, this is a hot growing sector. Hypercloud is what I got to call it, boy, AI hypercloud, because it's just so much bigger than the human clouds were. Storm clouds, these things are huge. Quarterlies, what are we doing here? It is growing, it's stuttering a little bit. We're trying to get momentum, but what's going on here? So she is losing money now, but if you go over the last 4 quarters, add it all up, you're doing about, what is that? 470 million and minus 6 from 23, 17 million, 170 million with about 17 million. They're about right there. They're about even right now. And with this new investment coming in, I think that is really going to help them explode. I'm expecting revenues to just explode, just keep growing as fast as they've been growing. Taking a look at their most recent, no, not the annual. I want to see the quarterlies. Quarterly balance sheet, money in the bank, about 25 million. They got about 3/4 billion in assets. Woohoo! We got less than that in liabilities, 638 million. So we are holding some nice stockholder equity in this company of 124 million. Revenues are growing at a very strong clip. They've just had a lot of money come in. We got stockholder equity. NVIDIA is backing them up. One of the biggest real estate investment companies out there is backing them up. Why shouldn't we be interested in this company? Taking a look at the disclosures. Let me take a look at my notes for a quick peek. I'm glad I did because we've got some over here. We've got some, is that right? Yeah, let me look at the right notes then. 2 6Ks. I don't see 2 6Ks over here. I took the wrong notes. So we're going to have to dive into these real quick. Notice of proposed sale of securities. So I'm not quite sure about that one. That's probably not concerning us. It probably has to do with somebody else. Prepaid advanced agreements. They are working on a convertible note. They've got money coming in. There's going to be a lot of filings for all that money coming in for all the different companies. One filing probably isn't going to cover. There's an S8 that's probably got to do with those shares that they were talking about. How come I didn't peek in on any of those? Big money. Yeah, offering of $32 million right there. So there's going to be a lot of filings with this big money coming in from all these different companies. And that's what's great about this. That is our catalyst. Big companies are putting big money into a company that's working in a very hot sector with AI. That's about really all we need to know, except maybe what the chart looks like. I don't want to cut Taylor out of the game. Go ahead, Taylor. It's your move.
All right. So this is the daily chart with regular candles, and here you can see we had a gap up today.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what happened today. Unlike that other one that was moving during regular hours, this one moved during pre-market. So let me go over here to the 1 hour. So we had this move during pre-market. So it started off at about 325 or so, and then jumped up to 470 something level, came back down, and now we're at like 539 after hours. And this little thing right here is sometimes this will pop up. There's an analyst rating that I guess it's still a buy, but it also says it's got a target price of $10 a share. So people probably like that. 52-week low for this was 236, and I think the 52-week high was 865. Yeah. So we're kind of in the middle of that. Yeah, so let's go down to the 15-minute. This is what happened today. We just kind of jumped up pre-market and bull flagged out. It looks pretty nice to me. This is all regular candles too.
Take off now. If she doesn't run right now, she's dipped under the 20. The 20 was the next support to catch up to her. She needs to bounce off something. She can't bounce off the air. If she doesn't bounce off that 20, I think it's going to go sideways until the 50 catches up.
It could.
I don't think it'll fall. I see value. I see potential. I see a lot of heat all around this company. And look, when she took that surge, she didn't even bother coming down. She went and added some more onto it. So I'm pretty confident this is a stock that you may want to look for a good entry on. But falling, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of fall. So I'd be watching careful for a floor before she takes off. And the 50 could be it.
Could be. Huh? Yeah, I'm here. I was just looking to see. They did report earnings. Let's see. They had an earnings report last week on Wednesday. Not so good earnings, but they had a decent revenue. But that made the stock go down. And then with this news, it jumped right back up.
Your oscillators look really good right now after.
Oh, I know. Yeah, especially on this time frame.
Juicy. I'm liking that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd watch this in the morning. You know, I say that it will wait for the SMA, but I am honestly feeling a lot of heat. I can feel the heat from this. I would not be surprised to see this jump in the morning pre-market. It may come back down at the bell and start all that BS of waiting for the 50. But I think we could see a pop out of this early tomorrow because there's a lot of heat. I think a lot of people are going to be watching this stock now. NVIDIA. That's not a name you throw around lightly. She's a giant in the industry.
Yep. About it that I have for this.
What is that? The 1 hour chart?
This is the 15-minute.
Okay, yeah, 15 minutes. That's better than the 5 minute. 5 minute gets a little sloppy. All right, let's jump into the next stock then. I've got it ready, locked and loaded. Well, kind of. Yep, there she is. Soar. All right, we did have another one all lined up for Jerome. Maybe we'll do it, maybe we won't. So we're going to just move on to the second one he had, Soar. You wanted to look at ADD. Maybe you want to look at it. I don't know. Jerome Soar. This is Volato Group. Finished today at 50 cents. Hot stock up 20% today on the New York Stock Exchange. We don't get a lot of hot penny stocks on the New York Stock Exchange. I don't know why. There's lots of penny stocks there, but we don't see a lot of them on the show. So this is a company out of Georgia, America, the United States, not over there by Russia. Let's see what we learned about this company. They had some hot news come out. When did this news come out? I don't see a date here. Well, we can take a peek over here without losing all my highlights. This came out today. That's right. We had news come out today. I posted this news. It's all coming back to me now. Volato announces strategic agreement. Let's call it a partnership with Fly Exclusive and outlines continued growth plans. In a nutshell, what they're saying and all that reading right there is that the company Soar has taken all of their jet charter services and all of that business and pushed it over to this other company, Fly Exclusive, which is on the exchange, ticker FLYX. Soar is going to keep the business of selling airplanes and proprietary software. They want to concentrate on that and let another company run the business. They'll get some profits off of it, but they don't have to worry about the operational costs. And that's the big thing here. They want to cut operational costs. And if you look at the news, did I have the news here? Volato to remove 5 leased aircraft from the fleet. You don't own them. You're paying for them every month. Get rid of those. We got to cut. Volato announces fleet update and cost efficiency measures, and then this deal. Now, something else they added down here was that the two companies are considering a potential merger in the future. They're already working together. They've got a lot in common. It could be very financially beneficial for them to get together. The synergies and the overlapping of expenses could save both companies a lot of money and strengthen them. So that's what's going on with the company from that perspective. Looking at the relative volume for Soar. Yeah, she's up. About 7, we'll round it off to about 7 times her normal volume, going from roughly 2 million to 14.5 million today. Share structure for Soar, we can live with that. Outstanding share count is just under 30 million. We don't know what the float is, but it's going to be less than 30 million. And anything under 100 million is a really decent float. We're getting spoiled here. So many companies have had reverse stock splits that there are a lot of companies with floats under 10 million. And it's just becoming commonplace here. But soon they're all going to public out their offerings and they'll all be back up. Market cap, we're at about 12 million for Soar. What is their financial situation? Well, they came onto the books with about 96 million in 2022 and dropped down to 73 million. But worse than that, they were making money and then they weren't. Losing a lot of money, 8.6 million after earning 73 million. That's a lot of work for a whole lot of nothing plus. Quarterly, I can't explain the bald spots here. They're doing roughly 13 to 15 million every quarter, but they can't make a profit flying. It just isn't working. 3.3 million in debt on the last quarterly report. Balance sheet. They got 7.2 million in the bank, 65 million in assets, 80 million in liabilities. So we are carrying, me and you, the investors, about 15 million in deficit for this company. Disclosures. I probably got this wrong too. I did. There was a bunch of Form 6Ks I covered, and I haven't seen a 6K anywhere. Def 14.4, diving in quick, special meeting. All right, let's see here. I go through the proposals to see right there. if there is a reverse stock split that they want to vote on. Why? You know why? Because they never say no to them. Second Amendment, they want more shares. They want to increase their share count. Bylaws. All right, do we have a number here? Looking for a number. Nope. Scary. All right, I don't get a number in this one, but they are considering a reverse stock split, which means you can probably count on a reverse stock split. Looks like they are also doing some shelf offering, putting out some shares, some warrants. I don't see any units in there, but what do I know? I haven't dove into it deeply. So they're raising money, folks. They are looking for ways to get shares out, get more shares. So they've got a lot of transitions going on right now with this partnership. They're rearranging the company. And I got to expect that the investors' toes will probably be stepped on first before they polish our shoes. Just the way I see it. All right. That's about everything I got for SOAR.
Oh, wait, I got a question for you.
Okay.
What do we have going on, November, end of November to early December 2023, like less than a year ago? What happened?
November, December.
Yeah.
You bought me just enough time because I'm there right now. All
Okay,
right.
perfect.
Well, let's see here. November. At the end of November, I see an 8K here.
Okay.
I see some shares going
Yeah,
on.
the 29th is good. What happened?
Agreement purchase prepaid forward transaction for a purchase agreement of 2 million shares. Looks like they had an investor coming in. So
Okay.
they had some money coming in. I see a couple of SC13Ds here, which means some big investors did come in. They bought 12% roughly in there. We've got a bunch of investors. You can see a whole bunch of SG13s here, which means new investors. Look, they just keep continuing, and a whole bunch of 8Ks. So it looks like they were going through some sort of investment phase back then, but I don't know what the growth strategy was. All right, so food for thought. Maybe it'll make sense when we see the chart.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So before I show you what happened, I looked up the 52-week low and high. The low was 33 cents, give or take, and the high was $35. When I saw that, I was like, oh, there was a stock split somewhere, right? No, there was not, because look what happened here. This was November 29th. We went, and this is just one day, one full day, went from like $13 all the way up to $35 in one day. That is crazy. Then it came right back down, even worse than what it was, because we were just floating along here at around $10, went all the way up to $35, and then just plummeted
Oh my
first
God.
week of December. And now we're down here at around 50 cents.
Just doesn't make sense, does it?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, wow, okay, so I thought there was a stock split. That's why I was gonna say, hey, if you see it at $35, that's not real. Well, it is real. That happened. There's no stock splits. I don't see it. It's not here. That is wild. So I'll zoom in so we can just see what's been going on now. Um, so this is what happened the last day or so. We did get a little bit of a bump. I'll show it to you on the daily chart first. So here's what happened today. So we were down here, it kind of looked like a bear flag until we had this big spike in volume, and we went from 41 cents up to 49 cents. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot considering these other little candles here. So go to the 1 hour.
That $2 million was an upfront payment for a business merger with Paci, PACI. That So they had some deal going on, and there's a lot of details in here about how strange it is. But it looked like they had a merger that they were talking about.
See.
So that would explain well, maybe not that sort of jump, but
that was crazy. Yeah, like way away from Pennyland. That's for sure. Like $35.
A rocket stock. That thing went so far away you couldn't even see it as a dot in the sky anymore.
Yeah, it was crazy. Okay, so this is what happened. This was during it looks like it was after hours yesterday that it started.
Okay.
So it was after hours on the 4th. So it went all the way up to like 75 cents. and stayed up there. And then during pre-market hours, we came down, and now we came back up. So
The
we
fourth
did.
is when the announcement of the partnership with Fly Exclusive was brought out.
I mean, and not including the after hours. I mean, it did hold above this, the 21 and the 9. It came back down here during pre-market and hit the 50. You can see that right here.
Yeah.
And then now we're just kind of, in the middle of this. We're at it dropped down from 50 cents to like 49 cents. So
Yeah, we had a lot of volume in there.
oh yeah,
I
much more
don't
than normal.
know if I would expect this to actually grab any more thrust right now. I mean, it's just a partnership. They're getting rid of some cost and they're going to be able to focus more. But we haven't seen any projections or anything like that. The best thing we can say is there's a possible merger on the horizon, but the horizon's a long ways off. So who knows?
Right. Okay. Well, and it's there. 15-minute kind of, we're doing this. Pre-market went down quite a bit, but it was after hours yesterday that we saw all that action. So someone was really into the news there.
Before that spike, she was downhill on the 200. Now she's uphill on the 200. So
yeah, and look, it bounced right off of it here on the 15
as
minute.
long as she just keeps doing that, slow growth. There's nothing wrong with slow growth. It gives you a chance to breathe and not panic. So I don't.
Yeah, it's been bouncing off a lot of different areas. Here's another bounce here. There's one here.
Right.
So it's kind of falling now, but this is after hours. I don't put too much stock in after hours movement as much, but I mean that's just what happened today. That's the 15-minute.
It looks good. I'm not feeling a lot of heat, but it looks good to me. I don't see any problems with it. She's got good news going on. They're balancing the books. They're working on fundamentals. Fundamentals are already pretty decent, not bad as like some of them. So, I don't think that the stock is a fear factor, but I don't see it as a day trade. That would be my bottom line looking at it.
And I guess the good news is it wasn't a complete pump and dump. It wasn't just didn't come right back down the same day. So that's good.
Right.
Bouncing around.
Let's jump on into that next one then. We are going to take a look now at where are you at? Oh, really? All right. Who brought me this turd? If I was Kramer, I'd have hit my sound effects button, but I don't have one, but I got mouth. Folks, I know PLPL oh so well. PLPL, Plandai Biotechnology, at a ridiculously low price. Come and get it, folks. No, don't. This is at 0002. She's on the bottom tier, pink. She has that verified information, transfer agent and verified profile, looking good. They say she's a shell risk. Shell risk used to mean we're in business. We're doing something to make money. We're just not making any money yet. That's not the case anymore. Now you can do a transaction with another company and receive assets. That constitutes business transaction. So you're in business, even though you're not pandering to consumers or customers. So you could be a shell risk without actually being in business. I don't believe this company's in business anyways. This is a company, they tell us they're out of Taiwan. All right, what can we say about this company? All right, before I give you my opinion, let's just look at the news. I have gone back here to 2022, and I'm only going to highlight this quick because it'll be plain and simple, clear as a bell what I'm trying to say. The company entered into a letter of intent to acquire the rights to Pure Blood's Eucalyptus reduction blood filtration. I remember this. That's when I got in, way back here when they got this blood filtration device. It was 2 months later, the company announces termination of that letter. Oh, okay. Then it was 4 months later, the company enters into another deal. They enter into Smart Hotel brand, EV Hotel. I like this. They had lots of information on it. So I bought some more. Yes, I did. The company announces that they enter into, I missed one there. That was on November. In January of 2023, the company announces termination of that agreement with EV Hotel. So now I bought in twice for 2 deals. They backed out of both. Then on the 3rd, On the March of 2023, the company enters into a material share exchange agreement with Good Salt. I remember that. BioPlanet announces completion of share exchange agreement with Plandai Biotechnology. That's in May of last year. Then in May, also, Plandai subsidiary BioPlanet announces strategic distribution agreement with Merrick Animal Health. All right, so we have deals they've entered, deals they've broken and gotten out of, a couple of them. Then we see a multiple deals being entered into here at the end of the year last year. And then we get no news. We've had nothing since then. Let's take a look at the disclosures. We can do it there. Nothing since March of 2023. Yeah, you've got your financials. What are those financials? We've got nothing coming in ever. Nothing there. Zeros across the board. No assets. $57,000 in liabilities. That's probably covering the rent and the checks to themselves. We're paying for that $57,000. And you wonder why it's that price. There is nothing I can see going on here, folks. This is a company. Oh, there was one other thing. I've been waiting for this company to do something. Give me a sign because it's so cheap and I didn't buy it cheap. No, I did not. And it's so cheap that I am really, really down on this. So I want to average down, but I'm not throwing my money into a dark hole. And worse yet, I'm not throwing my money into a company that the last time they talked to me, they said that they were going to do a 1 in 100 reverse split. Really? Another one? Folks, I've been through, I'm not lying here, I've been through about 60, it's over 60, reverse stock splits in the last 2 years. I have been crushed. And I'm telling you, I've lost over $40,000. And my averages have gone way the hell up. Mullins, I went through all 3 stock splits, thinking it's done and over, I can average down. Then they do another one. Well, there's no way they'll do 3. I'm averaging down. They did 3. My average in Mullins now is $111 a share. So I have not averaged down on PPL. And when they come out with the next news press about this big deal that they've gotten into, prove it. Put some filings on the table. Prove it. I want to see an S1, an S3, an S8. I want to see the filings. Don't you believe poppycock down here on the pinks, folks. You're taking management's word. And right now, I do believe September, we're going to see rules changed for shell companies. They're going to be treated like SPACs up on the major exchange. A SPAC comes on, they have no revenues, they have no money because they have no business. They have to find business in 18 to 24 months, make an acquisition, do a merger, something. They got to start making money. If they don't, they're off the market. Actually have to give all the money back to the investors before they leave the market. Well, they want to do the same thing for shell companies because there's shell companies that have been here for 10 years that have never, ever, ever made money. And they just keep putting out news presses about what they're going to do and just keep making money. They're making money off of us. They're going to change that. You got 18 months. Come up with an income or get the heck off our market. That shell company's gone. Won't see that one again. So there's nothing else here to tell you, folks. Nothing going on. No money, no assets, no business, except those last things they did. What's going on with the salt? What's going on with the deal with BioPlato and Merrick? What? Nothing. I hate that. I hate it. And this isn't going to be much fun either, but you've got to see it, folks. We're going to have to show you the chart for PL. Well, that's not as bad as I was expecting. We can't hear you, hon.
My bad. We looked at this back in May, right here. So what had been going on was we were stuck here in between 0001 and 0002. Came up here to the next level. Then next level, I thought maybe if we got above 0006, it never really happened. And now we're on our way back down. You can see we're just stair stepping down, just barcodes all over the place. And I guess the reason we wanted to look at this, we got a little bit more volume coming in after being stuck here for last couple of months. So now we're back up to in between 0002 and 0003. So I guess we're on the way back up. Maybe. I mean, this is an awfully barcodey looking chart. It's really it's really hard to read what's going to happen. I mean,
Yeah,
here it
yeah.
is.
What could happen? I mean, if you have no catalyst, you have no water in the tank, we could have an earthquake and nothing's going to slosh. This thing has nothing to offer, not hope, not speculation. I mean, the best you could do is say, wild card, I'm going to throw $100 down here at this price, and I'm just going to hold
Yeah.
it for 10 years and see if anything happens.
I was gonna say, I mean, if you're thinking it's gonna do this again, you could try to get in at this lower level here at 0002, and it goes to 0004. There's 100%, but I mean, there's no guarantee it's gonna do that. But you know,
Well, look, I've been in what is HCMC, I think it is. I can't remember. They were running so hard a couple of years ago. We're doing billions of shares a day, 8 billion, 10 billion shares a day. Imagine that on the OTC market when we're only doing 2 billion shares a day now. That's how many shares we were doing back then. And this company was running hard. Well, I got in super cheap one day. It just bottomed out at 0001. I said, oh, I've seen this stock up before. So I snagged $100 worth. It has never moved. God, it's been like a year down there at 0001 and it just won't move. It goes down to quad 05, but not any higher. So
yeah,
just because you get it cheap doesn't mean you got a deal.
yeah, and you also have to pay the fee because it's an OTC stock, so there's that as well.
That too, all the time. Yeah,
Hmm.
so I don't know why anybody would want PL unless you're holding it like I am and was just wondering, like Taylor said, hey, there's life today. Did I miss something? Did you find something? Nope, I didn't find nothing.
Yeah.
This is worse than a dark horse. It's a dead horse walking.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really barcodey. It'll get in between these two and just go back and forth. Go in between these two back and forth. I mean, that's all it's doing. You see these lines I've drawn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's all it's been doing for this whole time.
Yeah, that's a that ain't what we're talking about. We're
The
getting out
past
of here.
year or more.
I know I've got the button, so it's my fault if we hung around that page too long. My bad. Hey, we're out of pages here. I've got to get something. Oh, before we go anywhere, do I still have this here or did I get rid of it? No. I wanted to share this with you folks. I found this morning. I post news every morning from 7:20 to 9:30 on Twitter, my Discord group, and a couple Facebook pages. And I post a lot of news. I find a lot of crazy stuff. Look at that chart. Now, I could make it a little bit clearer. This is ticker SPAI, Safe Pro Group. They had news today. I made up a little fancy picture here. And I can come in. This stock, folks, is at $4.33 at the end of the day. Every day in the morning, it's jumping up to $663. I'm not BSing you. The proof's right there. I'm showing you the picture. Every day it does this. So, you could buy one share just to test it, buy a share for $5, put in a standing order for $100. Don't be greedy. Just see if it works. Pop. Did you make $100 off $5? Holy cow. Let's buy 100 shares and go for $200. I don't know what's going on here, folks. This company just came on the market a little while ago, and this is what their chart looked like for the last 5 days. You may want to look at it. It's just food for thought. I like to find strange. Beep. So what did you find for us, Taylor?
You can check the chat. I have been asking and asking.
Oh,
I only had a couple. There was, I think, well, we did have ADD someone requested before.
and I do have that one already lined up.
Okay.
That
And then
actually,
there were two more. I think
oh,
VIGL would probably be my pick.
and was it OPTT in there as well?
That was on there. It's not the hottest chart, but we can
Right.
look at it. Those were
OPTT
the
is a
two
good.
that I got. I didn't really get any more.
Yeah, it's a
Someone asked a
shame.
question. Someone did ask a question just a minute ago about the QIND and ASNS merger.
Oh, right. QIND. Wasn't that a spin out of Ilis? What was it? Ilis, I think it was. Trying to keep up with all that. I have not seen any recent news here. I keep up with the news. I haven't seen anything. That's not to say I couldn't have missed it. So I can't answer on that right now because I don't have any idea what's going on, but I'll probably
Okay.
look at it after you brought it up. Yeah, so we can look at ad since I've already got that up here.
Okay.
Ad is on the NASDAQ, ticker ADD. This is Color Star Technology, finished today at 56.5 cents, up 2.5%. This really, all right, this is a company out of New York. That surprises me. I'll tell you why, because I jumped over to their website. They didn't have it listed here, but I found it. Let me see, is it this one? Well, I'll read a description first. Color Star Technology is in the entertainment and education business that provides online entertainment performances and online music education services. And really, it is education entertainment blended. It's not just entertainment and education. They're doing it together. This is the website. You come over here, and initially it looks like Netflix. You see Shaq in there, but you also see a lot of Orientals. So that's why I was surprised to see it was an American company. I thought this came from Taiwan or something. You come down here, they tell you these aren't movies. These are all lessons. These are all how-to lessons. Hundreds of premium quality lessons taught from the stars at the top of their game. Down here, they tell us they're also involved in live concerts, smart stages, smaller scale, intimate venues. And they are working with big name stars like Shaq and Patrice Evra, whoever the heck she is. So we've got a company here that is working with education in a very unique way. How-to videos have always been big money. People have always loved how-to. And when you can have a name brand person teaching you how to defend yourself, how to dance, how to play basketball, how to fish, how to bait a hook, how to pick up women, whatever, you're going to make a lot of money with that. I mean, seriously, because everybody wants to learn how to do something, right? What else did we have here? Only two pieces of news. Color Star Technology filed a $100 million mixed security shelf offering. That means they were selling whatever they had, warrants, rights, units, shares. So they flooded the market. A lot of share dilution going on now and in the future. And then they announced the appointment of a new vice president. I don't have a whole lot of information about that. And what did I bet you these 6Ks have to do? They do. Remember those 6Ks I said I had information about? This is where they come from. We have two 6Ks here that talk about a reverse stock split. The board has voted on a special resolution for a reverse stock split of up to 1 and 250 and not less than 1 to 5. That's a huge difference. 1 to 5, I could live with. 1 and 250, if you bought 500 shares, you'll have 2 shares after this reverse stock split. They normally don't go to the full hilt, but they get real close. Let me see. They're doing this because they are under $1. They've been under $1 for too long, 56 cents. They've got to get up over $1 or they'll get kicked down to the OTC, and they don't want to do that. And let's see, the other 6K, they had a $1 million private placement. Somebody came in and invested some money. So we see they're putting shares on the market. That's what effect means. If ever you see an effect, it's very short. That's it. And it's basically the gun. Pow! Now, whatever you were reading, they'll say this is not action enforced. 622 million shares going on the market. This is not an offer to sell. It's like they keep warning you. Well, as soon as you see an effect, ain't a warning no more. It's happening. So that's what's going on here. Anything else? That is it. We've covered all the information on ad except the stock information. Well, she's dropped on her volume, going from 3.1 million down to 1.7. Share structure for ad. Well, we've got a really good share count. Outstanding shares is already low. That's down at 16 million. That's great. I'd be happy with my float being right there. Insiders own more than 50% of the stock, 7.6 million. We end up with 6.3 million. That's great, folks. We have a super low float. And if we go through a reverse stock split, they got to go through it too. We're not talking preferred shares there. Those are common shares just like me and you own. So if they hit us hard, they get hit hard too. Market cap for the company, we are just approaching 9 million. Financials for ad. Started at zero, had some money in the middle for a couple years during COVID, and then lost it all when we came out of COVID. Quarterlies, never got back to making money. Balance sheet for the company. Well, they've got $239,000 in the bank, so they can keep paychecks going out to the management. Right. Total assets, $30 million. Good job. Total liabilities, better job, $5 million. That means we've got roughly $25 million in stockholder equity in this company. That's not bad. Shame about that reverse stock split. That sounds like a done deal to me. And since we've already covered the disclosures, ain't no need to go over there. So that's what you got going on. Did we cover that news just to make sure? Yeah, that's all the news you got. So I really don't see a catalyst going on here. You know, they've got a business that I think could be hot. You got to check out the business model. I think we were looking at the investors site, not the actual site that you go to for color time. They've got two different sites. I do believe they've actually got it in the news press. They list both of the sites there. So they've got that how-to site. And I think how-to is big. If you can make a name for yourself, if you can get some publicity, they should do TV advertising. That would be very, very good for them. So let's take a look at ad. I think I've bought Taylor enough time to chart it out for us.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just looking at the daily chart, regular candles, I believe. Yeah. Nope, Heikenashi's. It doesn't matter. I'll look at Heikenashi's. Yeah, so I just let's see, 52-week low was around 17 cents. 52-week high was $1.86, but that was back in September of 2023. So it's literally been a year since we were way up there. I mean, this was way up here. So we haven't quite gotten to that high yet, but I did identify this little part right here. This is around 57 cents. Here. We touched here on the daily, which is interesting. And then right here, we're right at it right now. So that's a really interesting spot. And after this big run that started like a little over a month ago, just over a month ago, started at around 19 cents, ran up to $1.10. We came back down on the daily chart and hit just above the 50, and now we came right back up. So we're right at that resistance area. So I like that.
That looks normal. I mean, you know, we hate to see a big drop after a run, but that's what is expected. It needed to come back down, balance out, and start over again. That's what charts do, up and down. So that didn't look too bad from that vantage point.
Yeah, and this looks pretty standard on the 1 hourly chart. I mean, it is coming down, but I mean, it is trying to get back up to that area. You can see it's hit it several times. Right there around the 57-cent mark. It did come back up. Doesn't look amazing, but it's trying. But we do have lower lows. You can see that. So that's
we
not
got a
good.
pennant. We got a pennant trying to build up there, but you know, it's going to need a lot of strength. That 200 is just now. The 200 is just now coming down on top of it, and it's ebb and flow, right? These things don't normally bend; they roll. So if it's just starting to fall, we've got all that fall to go before we come up. So I'm not liking that chart. Looks like she's going to need a lot of oomph to get that thing to turn around again.
It does. 15-minute. I mean, we're climbing a little bit from this low. I don't know. This drop here on Tuesday was not good. That did not help at all, because there we were kind of around that. We were above this 57-cent mark because we hit it, and then we were above it. But then when that crashed through, now we're fighting it again because we hit it here yesterday and then again today. So if we can get above this and ideally up to here, I could see this either coming back down to maybe around 50 cents or lower, or we break through this and come up to the 67-cent mark. Because look at this area that's hit several times. It just happens to line up perfectly with the 200 on the 15-minute chart. This area here.
Yeah. So there may be a bounce. I mean, she likes to bounce. I'll give her that. She goes up and down, but trend, I think she's in a downtrend for a while yet. She could uptrend here in a while, but I don't think she's going to break through that 200 anytime soon.
I think it has the potential to come up to it like we did here, but we're gonna have to really, regain this area like we did, before, because this was a big, let's see, where was I? Yeah, this was a big resistance, this bottom line at 57 cents, resistance, support here, and now we're right up on it again, see? But we did break through it. This was the daily, but if we go back to the 15-minute, we've hit this top one, which is 67 cents several times, and it lines up right with this 200. We can get back above this, we have a chance to come back up to here. But,
Yeah,
I mean, it could go either way, obviously. I mean, we can't predict what's
exactly.
gonna
It could go either way, but because it's underwater, chances are it's more inclined to fall right now than climb. And that's what we're looking
happen.
for. Stocks with strong probability of moving up. This hasn't got a strong probability, it has a half-ass chance.
No, well, but we do have higher highs and higher lows.
I hear
So,
you, sister. I hear you.
I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence on this one.
I
We'll
want
see. I would like to watch this one. I'm gonna put this
Fair
down
enough.
to watch this one.
I'll make a comment about that spread on SPAY. That is what happens with warrants. You get these huge spreads, and it's like, I can't buy in at that price. They want, some crazy price to buy in. All you can do is find that floor, come up off that floor high enough for a step, and put in a buy price there and just let it sit there. Wait for it to dip down and hit you. It's got to come up and down. There's no way it can move like that without somebody getting those prices. So just put it in there. And as soon as it goes ding and you get that stock, put in your standing order, good till canceled, right? Pre-market, aftermarket, daily, you want everything, and put in your standing order for $100 or whatever it is, and just see if it happens. But you just need a standing order because it has to move there, and the bids have to trade. They have to move at some point. And if you're in the queue, just wait. Maybe 3 bounces go by because there's 2 people ahead of you who have the same idea. Somebody's making out on that spread. I'll tell you what, that's something else. Did we have anything else over here? I'm looking.
There was 2 more. Someone wanted OPTT, but I kind of like VIGL a little better.
VIGL.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll look at VIGL. OPTT, VIGL. VIGL. OPPT is a great company, but a lot of great companies that have solid
screen there. Screen.
Okay. You get that button there. I just got to the page. You're just in time. Haven't started without you. OPTT is a good company. OPTT. That's right. I do believe we're talking about the buoy, the powered buoy company. I don't know of another company that does this. That's the first thing that stands out. I put out a lot of news, and I've never, ever seen another company that has power buoys. They got a wave catcher on underneath that actually generates electricity, and they have satellite connection, 5G connection, Wi-Fi connection, has radar, sonar, whatever you have that needs electricity, they can hook up to these power buoys. They even have USB ports so that you can plug in and charge up if you're that close to a buoy. These things connect to any other buoys. They connect to ships, planes, and this company is doing very well. They're getting lots of business from a lot of countries who want to protect their waters with these buoys that are smart. Now they're probably going to incorporate AI into them. And the company just isn't rocketing as you'd think. They got lots of contracts, great product, no competition. You'd think it'd be running. But we're going to look at Vigil. Ticker VIGL, Vigil Neuroscience. Better not have me reading complicated words. Vigil, this is a company out of Massachusetts. She finished today at $3.76, was up 11%. She is a penny stock on the major exchange. Now, what can we learn about this company? I'm going to presume that she is some sort of biotech. We'll just dive into one of these news presses and go down. Vigil Neuroscience is a clinical stage biotechnology company focused on developing treatments for both rare and common neurodegenerative diseases by restoring the vigilance, hence the name, of micro. You did it. You gave me certain cells in the brain. That's what they say here. So this is a clinical stage company. Chances are they're not making any money. No, because clinical stage is R&D. R&D is research and development. You're not selling anything. You're paying everybody to look, find. And then when you find the drug, now you got to put it through clinical trials. You got to pay for all that too. So these companies that are research and development are sucking money out of anywhere they can get it. If they can't get it from a big whale, a big investor, they're going to come to us. I'm not saying it's not a reason to invest in them, but I mean, these businesses are about making money. If you're not making money, what's the catalyst? Well, when they do this, that's what you get. Pops and drops. News comes out about phase 2 trial, which took 2.5 years. It was good. Woo-hoo! It runs. You better be there fast because it's going to come down just as fast because it's another 5 years before we get some more good news. So you got to be in these things right on time to get it, or else you're just sitting around waiting. Take a look at the balance sheet. What sort of money do they have? They got $37 million in the bank. I like seeing that. $108 million in assets. That's good. Total liabilities is only 23. This research and development company with no revenues has $85 million in stockholder equity, better than a lot of the companies we'll look at that have business and revenues. Disclosures for the company. We've got a most recent 10Q here. Best place to do your research. Forget about Google. You'll be bouncing around reading tidbits and getting people's opinions. Just go inside a 10Q. It is every bit of information from the day they incorporated, from the day they came on the market. It's all in there. And use your search bar. If you're looking for something specific, put in split, merger, 2024, and just search out information the way you want to read it, rather than reading everything you don't want to read, trying to find what you do. 8K here on the 13th, material change. Read that bold sentence, gives you a little clue if you want to spend any more time here. Results of the financial operations. You always get one of these to come out with the financials. It's an easier read, not the easiest, just easier. And hey, look, we got a new investor, SC13G. Can't remember which is which. The 13G and the 13D are both new investors. One is a silent investor. Just take my money and do something with it. The other one wants a voice in the business. This is Invest Public Equities. They got 4.9. You can see multiple people or companies in here. Normally, they're all related. It'll be like the company, a subsidiary of the company, the owner of the company, but they're all together. They each have a share here and there, and it all adds up at the bottom. All of these look to be about 4.9% small, but you had someone come in and they bought enough to have a voice in the company. And then you've got some more 8Ks you may want to look at over the last couple of months. Material change. You never know. Those can always be important. So let's see our relative volume for Vigil. Yeah, doing about what she normally does. Up on the major exchange, that's under the radar. She's doing about 180,000 shares a day for the last 30 days and make it 31 days now. Share structure. We got a low share count, about 40 million. Don't know what the float is. Don't know what the insiders own. Best I can say, it won't be over 40 million. Could be considerably less, right? Market cap, 134 million. Sweet. And the financials, well, we already been there, done that. So let's move on to the chart, because that is all we got. I don't think we had anything right. I'm not missing anything. Oh, let's check that news. I pounced in here, but I didn't actually look at it. Shareholder alerts. All right, so this is another one of those companies. Folks, don't let these scare you. Shareholder alert, company being sued by shareholders, shareholder investigation. Man, you would not believe there are hundreds of companies that are being sued. For anything and everything, normally it's because the investors were reading between the lines, seeing things that wasn't said, and they sue because they didn't present what they thought they heard. And it just normally doesn't come anywhere. And you also find a lot of these suits, you've got to have lost $100,000 to qualify to get into the class action. Well, who the heck invests $100,000 into a stock that costs 4 cents? What? Are you out of your mind? It drops to 2 cents. You just lost $50,000. No way I'm investing that kind of money in penny stocks. We got lots of stuff here about their financials. Ooh, got something here about ALSP genetic mutation prevalence in neurology genetics. They've got information. That's a big deal if it gets into peer reviews. If other people in their sector pay attention to what they're saying, that can be a catalyst for us. And the only way you know that is if you go to that peer review and see how many people read it. And you go, 1,000? That's all that read it? 15 is the normal read. The normal peer review gets 15 people reading it. So if you find one that got 1,000, that's hot news. That's something big. Interim data.
At the news from around November 17th ish
News.
or whatever.
All right. I didn't think we'd get the news. I see they're coming out of an ongoing phase 1 clinical trial. Phase 1 gives them the fact that their drug is safe. It doesn't kill anybody. It doesn't give you chronic diarrhea or hiccups. So they've gotten through that. Now they got to go see how good their drug is. That's phase 2. That can take 3 years. After that, they'll go to phase 3, which can take up to 5 years. Compete against every other drug like them. All right. What month did you want me to check in 2023?
November 17th or 16th ish.
Oh, I got one on the 16th. I do. It is an 8K.
Okay.
Regulation FD disclosure. Vigil issued a press release. We should be able to get it down here. Reports positive Interium data from phase 2, Ignite proof of concept clinical trial.
All right.
So that's phase 2. Took us maybe 3-4 years to get here. We just got good news. I would anticipate, I haven't looked at the chart, I would anticipate a bump. Maybe it lasted a day and a half and then came basically down to where it was. Let's see. That's really all we got there. We've got a phase 1 trial, a phase 2 trial. Looks like things are going good. I didn't read that news though, but the
okay.
Okay. Show me.
Okay, so here it is. This big gap. This is the 16th. This is the 17th.
So that wasn't a good phase 2 trial, obviously.
Big old gap.
After 3 years, you're very disappointed waiting. We didn't go through it, but the reaction tells us you don't need to read it. They didn't meet their endpoints, and it's gone. All the money they invested, all the work to find it, all the time. Now, that doesn't mean it's all garbage. They'll take those studies back up and find a different use for it, but it's more time and energy now. We're starting over.
We closed at like a $6.65 and then opened the next day at $5.25 or $5.27 and went all the way down to $4.01 and then continued to crash. But that's okay. That happened back then. So here's what's going on now. And I identified a few little spots. This lower white line, if you can see it, is $2.47. That is the 52-week low. Its 52-week high was $9.24 without any stock splits. I just looked through it. So this little area here, it's a little bit above that. I went like a few cents above. We got support, and that's right at the bottom, and it's hit it 2 or 3 times, several times down here. And then I identified this little area. It's around between 371 and like 375. This is like a resistance, and then it turned into support, and it's and then resistance. So we're right there at it now, right in between this. So this area has hit several times.
It bounces off of that support up to that $5 range, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And she
had a little gap here. In fact, that was on June 10th, June 7th.
I like the
and it actually spiked up to $6, 608, 605 or so.
I like the way that chart's set up. I think she set
I
up
like it too.
A strong pop. I mean, over $1. I can see that.
Well, we are at 376 or so now. And I do like this. This is the daily. So let's go down. I like to look at the 1 hour and see what's going on. Let me go to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's in the motion of breaking that support. She's on top of the 200, getting strong.
Yeah. And see how many times we have been hitting this.
Yeah.
So it is really testing this resistance here. And that I have marked off just really roughly between 371, 375, give or take. I mean, it has come up above it a few times, but man, look how many times we have hit this.
Yeah. So to
Right
me,
there again, I like this a lot.
if this breaks over top of your little margin area there, that would be a perfect entry for me because
Mhm,
she rarely gets there. And
mhm.
when she does, I think she's going to make a whole new section of chart. She's going to
Yep,
say, bye to the old stuff. Let's start a new thing. She's on top of the 200. It's time to start a new chapter.
yeah.
I like
And I
that.
mean, yeah, I
I'll
like
watch
this a
this one
lot.
tomorrow.
And if it does happen to come down here into the like 250 something range, you can I mean, it has bounced off it several times. And I mean, this has been
Really?
before. Yeah, you go back here and you can see it has bounced off this. I mean, and it's a little bit rough. It's not exactly. It's like between 247, 254. It's hit it all these times. Starting back in February of this year, look how many times we've hit this, come right back up. But
Yeah.
now we're at this second
I
one
mean,
here,
anything's possible. My jaw drops more often than I can tell you looking at charts.
but
I
I really
scratch
do
my
like
head. There are mysteries that I just, baffle the mind. The universe has no end, and this chart's jumping $640 every day. I
yeah,
can't,
yeah, that was crazy.
it's
But I
fun.
do like this one. I really do like this one. So thank you, whoever brought this one. I like this.
Yeah, VIGL Vigil. Vigil looks like a hot chart to be
Mhm.
watching. I think she
It
gets
was
over.
Brian. Brian brought this one to us. I like it.
Yeah, she is definitely set up there for a breakout into new territory. I'm liking this one. Thanks for that. What do we got? Hey, we actually got on the money. It's 5:31. Ding, 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 ding.
Perfect.
Perfect. I'm John Zidar. The lady behind the screen is the better half of the team. That's Taylor. Taylor, you got anything you want to say to the people before you go today?
So I am looking at 2 weeks from now will probably be my last week for a little bit, but I don't know for sure. So just maybe next week I'll let everyone know for sure. But right now, I think
Oh,
I'm good for now. I'm good for
okay.
now.
All right. So what?
You know
You know,
what, John? How about you remind me during the week next week? Remind me to come on camera, and I will do
okay.
whatever.
Okay, gotcha. All right, folks. So it's not vacation. She's had a few of those already. We've lost her just to
I
the big.
know I keep going on vacation. This won't be
Yeah,
a
yeah,
vacation.
yeah. But outside of that, everything's good. Don't worry. She's
Yeah,
not going in for no operations or,
yeah, I'm
facelift
good.
or anything like that. She's good.
No.
So we'll be back here next week, Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, me and my compadre, and we are hoping to see you here as well. Bring us those hot stocks, folks. We're looking for money. We can't find them at the bottom of the wishing well. We're finding it on the top of the mountains. We'll see you then, folks. Bye bye.
Bye.
Couldn't hold that note any longer.